Your friends host shows on A1R Psychic Radio. Your friends also happen to be the top psychic radio host in the world. This is Planet Earth's top psychic radio and television broadcasting network. Nothing but love, light, and good intentions here. This is A1R. And we are live now. Time for the Linda Allen Show with Linda Allen. Live from LindaLAllen.com. Make it right. Our readings are always 100% free. Call now. In North America, dial toll free. 888-454-ASK-1. That's 888-454-2751. Or visit our website at AskOneRadio.com. There you'll find more numbers for Washington, D.C., London, and Sydney. Or connect at Facebook at Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. This is the Linda Allen Show on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Lynn Allen Show. My name is Brooke Wallace, and we haven't been with you for a little while. Hopefully, Linda's with us tonight. Are you, Linda?
Well, I'm going to try my best to be with you tonight, honey. And I hope you can hear me because you know I can't project my voice very well.
No, that's right. It's been a rough couple of weeks since the accident.
Well, you may want to tell everybody what's happened so they'll kind of understand that we may be a bit off our beat tonight.
Yeah, we're lucky though. We have a guest this evening.
We do, but before we get in there, before we bring him on, because I do want to apologize that we haven't been on for the past couple of weeks because some of you know and some of you don't know that Brooke and I had a car crash 2 weeks ago yesterday. And we're alive, which is kind of a miracle in itself. But we're trying to heal, and I have some bad ribs, so I can't project my voice, and I won't be giggling very much tonight.
No, it's a shame. I actually came out of it pretty well, but poor you have a couple of ribs and. You can't laugh, you can't cough, you can't sneeze, you can't do anything without hurting. I'm so sorry, honey.
I have ribs, a hip, a neck, shoulders. I'm just pretty beaten up. But you know, I had to come on this show tonight because we've been advertising my good friend Angelo Garcia for a couple of weeks, and boy, the emails are going to get rough if we don't bring Angelo on tonight. So people have waited patiently for him. So, Angelo, are you with us tonight, honey?
I am. How's everyone doing?
We're great, but Angelo, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Well, thank you. I'm super excited. I've always admired everything that you represent, and it's an honor for me to be, part of the show today.
Well, I honor you, too. Honey, do you have a headset there by any chance?
Do I need one?
Yeah, you do.
All right, let me get it. I'll be right back.
Okay, honey. I should have told him that before, honey, but I think he'll I'll be able to hear him better with the headset.
Yeah, sometimes just the consistency makes a big difference. And Angelo, with his voice and everything, we want to hear everything.
We don't want to miss a thing about Angelo. He's a unique person.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
So,
Linda, I'm afraid that you're going to be pretty sore for a while. And, I hate to not say anything funny.
All right, I'm back. Can you hear me better now?
Oh yeah, that's a lot better, Angelo.
I am so sorry, honey, that we didn't tell you this. But what were you going to say to me? You didn't want to say something funny?
No, I'm not. So I'm just going to hold it to myself. And if I do say anything that's a little maybe funny, I apologize. But Angelo, Linda's told me so much about you, and it's just a pleasure to have you on here.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Angelo, we want to know everything about you. We tell the audience, like they don't know what you do, tell the newcomers, what do you do?
Well, I'm a recording artist, and I've been doing it since I was 11 years old. I started my career in the biggest selling Latin boy band in the history of music. The boy band's name is Menudo, and it was where Ricky Martin got his start. I actually recorded 3 albums with the band and with Ricky Martin. I toured the world. I sung in the largest arenas around the planet. I feel very fortunate that I was able to have that. I call it like my high school for the music industry, because what I learned is priceless. I learned how to manage like the masses. I learned how to manage myself in a studio setting. It helped me become a good communicator, because you're thrown into situations where you have to, be on your toes and are able to communicate your feelings. So it was amazing for me. After I left the band, I recorded 3 solo albums, one with Warner Brothers, which was my first solo album in Spanish. And then I was offered actually a role on Rent on Broadway. But simultaneously, I was offered a recording contract with East West Records, which is actually a sister company of Warner Brothers in Germany for Europe. So since my dreams is to get the masses to know who I am and connect with the masses and, and put my musical message out there for the masses, I figured that it was probably a smarter idea to take the record deal and to put Broadway on the back burner. So that's what I did. Then after that, I recorded 2 more albums, so it's just been a roller coaster ride, and it's been a lot of fun.
Wow, it sure sounds like it, Angelo. Linda, she told me about asking you if she loves country western, and she was wondering if you could do a country western song.
Did you do me one, Angela?
I have probably 8 country songs, from everything from Garth Brooks to Luke Bryan to Tim McGraw. I'm obsessed with country music. It's funny because I'll get people on my page, and it's if I were to listen to what everyone has to say instead of following my gut feeling, I would probably not be as far along in my music career as I am. Because when I go on my page, since it's a musical, I do a lot of covers on my Facebook page, and it's everything from country to hip hop to rap to Broadway, songs to kids songs to pop to bubblegum pop. It's everything. And you'll hear people that go on my page and they're like, oh, this is your genre. Oh, no, you're better with rock. Oh, no, you're definitely for country. Oh, no, you're definitely for R&B. And it's kind of if you were to listen to every single person's opinion instead of following your gut, then you would end up probably going in a direction that isn't meant for you. So I always say, stay authentic to yourself and be true to your heart. And I love it all. So it's why would I ever put myself in a box when music is meant to be loved and meant to be expressed? If I want to sing country one day, I will sing country one day. If I want to sing hip-hop one day, I'll sing hip-hop one day. And to answer your question, Linda, I'm actually practicing that song by Luke Bryan. What's it called? Country Girl. Country girl, shake it for me, girl. Shake it for me, girl. Shake it for me. You know that song? So,
actually, honey, I don't, because I'm more of a Willie Nelson, Garth. When actually, here I'm going to laugh. But Angelo, Garth Brooks to me was rock and roll.
Oh, you know what? I will post a Garth Brooks song for you today.
He reminded me of rock and roll. No, I was teasing you because I was gonna ask this wonderful rock star to sing me a country song, because I just actually knew you could do it. But Angelo, on a little different note. There's more to you than your music. There's, people see this beautiful specimen of a man. You're gorgeous. I mean, your body, good Lord. I'm a little old lady, and I go, oh, I can't believe this boy dresses like that. Which, Brooke hasn't seen that yet, so I'm not going to show him.
You know what? I tend to be racy at times, but it's all just for fun. You know what? I mean, this is the way I look at it. If you got it, flaunt it. And while I have it, I'm going to flaunt it because the reality is that beauty fades. So while you have it, I'm going to show off my hard work while God, while I'm fortunate enough to have it. So sometimes I tend to dress scantily clad, but it's just all for, like, shock and awe and, like, for fun. So...
Well, I wish I would have thought like that when I were your age, but I never once in my whole life thought I had it. But Angelo, this is a psychic show and it's a spiritual show.
Yes.
And I've come to know you a little bit and found out that you were both. You were very psychic yourself and you're a very spiritual boy.
My mom, actually, I think I inherited it from my mom because when I was little, my mom would, like, say, oh, this is going to happen. And then what she would do was, as she was saying whatever it is that she thought was going to happen, she would put an X on the wall. And sure enough, every time she would do that, whatever she would say would come true. And as I matured and as time went by, and I learned about life, and you learn with the mistakes that life takes you through, and the arduous periods and the periods where God feels you need to be a little bit more humble, you tend to learn. And it isn't that I feel like I'm psychic more than I've learned the concept of being able to understand that A plus B equals C. So if I do this, or I go down this path, or if, I behave in this manner, 9 times out of 10, this is what probably the result is going to be. So in a way, I've become very intuitive and connected to being able to, I call it foresight, to be able to see ahead without allowing myself to actually go through the experience, to understand that if I do this, this is probably what's going to happen.
It's really amazing, Angelo. Lynn has had classes on your being able to do just that. People don't realize the power of concentration and thought, and the other thing that goes hand in hand with that is people call it intuition. But it's our spirits and our angels. They're talking to us all the time, and it's an amazing path.
I agree with you 100%. I always used to, when I was growing up and I was younger, like in my early teens, when you when you're in your early teens, you'll pretty much give anyone a chance, because my concept is give everyone a chance until they give you a reason not to trust them. I used to look at life like that, and I still do in a way. But in a way, what I've learned is that, have you ever met somebody and it's almost like they're nice, they're charming, they're all of the things that you would think that it constitutes a good person, but something in your heart and in your spirit is telling you, stay away from this person. I feel that when you feel those inner sensations and those feelings, that's God, or that's your spirituality trying to tell you that, to be careful and to take caution with engaging with this person, because although that person may be a good person for someone else, it doesn't mean that the person's going to be good for you.
Yeah, isn't that the truth with so many people? And it's funny how a person will work really good with one person. You turn right around, and because of that conflict or that disagreement or whatever you want to call it, the personality conflict, they can't get along with somebody else. And it's funny how that works between individuals.
Yeah. It's like when your personalities are non-congruent, it's like, don't try to force it. It's almost like forcing the square peg into the circular hole.
Exactly.
So I tend to shy away from people that I get that feeling. What I consider it is, do you know when you put two magnets and repel each other? It's like they go to the opposite way. Well, when I meet people and it gives me that sensation, I already know that my intuition is telling me that this person is not going to be good for me. So I shy away from them and I just maintain my distance. And I connect with people that I actually feel like when you put the opposite side of the magnet with the negative and the positive, and it like connects and it sits like glue. When I have those sensations around people that I meet, then I know this is going to be a good person for me. And I used to ignore those feelings growing up. Luckily enough, I had the intelligence and the intellectual capacity to finally realize that I needed to listen to my intuition and to my gut feeling, because your intuition and your gut feeling will always guide you towards the right direction.
Yeah, they're there all the time. Sometimes we just don't listen, you know. But that comparison to the positive and negative, that's a great comparison. That's so true.
Yeah.
Well, Angelo, I want to talk about Disney World. You were just to Disney World.
Yeah. I was at Disney World with my Doublemint twins. They're like my best.
Your Doublemint twins. I love your Doublemint twins.
Yeah,
Are you talking about Doug and Dave?
Doug and Dave.
Yeah, I've met them. They're good friends of yours also, aren't they?
Yeah, they're like my best friends. They've like been just rays of light in my life. I appreciate them more than anything. You know what? This is how you know when a good friend is going to be someone that's going to be there for you in the long haul. You have two types of friends in your life. You have friends that I call fair weather friends, which are friends that when you call them to like go party, to go out to dance at the club, to have a few drinks, to go to the movies, to shoot like superfluous nonsense, they're always ready and they're always willing and they're always able. But when you really need them, when you need to move or when you need a shoulder to cry on, or if you get evicted from your apartment, they're the type of people that will disappear and that you will not be able to get a hold of them. To whereas true friends are the people that you can have fun with, but that also are there with you to weather the storms. And when a friend is willing to weather the storms with you, you know that's someone that you need to keep in your life, because they've proven without a reasonable doubt, with empirical evidence, that there are people that are going to be there and stand by you no matter what.
Yeah, those are the ones you can trust.
Those are the ones that become your family, you know what I mean? There's friends that are friends and that will always stay friends and that will always connect with you on a superficial level. And then there's friends that you connect with on a deeper level. And it's like almost like it becomes an extension of your family.
But you know, Angelo, and I have to say this to you. You're an unusual friend. You don't live what we would call a normal life.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gonna be very hard for you to dissect that. People go to work from 8 in the morning to 5 at night.
Mm-hmm.
If you're our producer, you go to work at 8 in the morning to 8 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And he would understand what you're going through, because you probably you work nights.
Yes.
You work mostly nights. That would be hard to find friends, real true friends,
mm-hmm.
that could actually understand that. You're just so fortunate in your life that you have that, because Doug and Dave are so accepting of everything.
Yeah.
They're just the most two wonderful people I've ever met. And the listening audience does not know who Doug and Dave are. So I will tell you they're a set of identical twins and they live in Denver, Colorado, and they are the most amazing two people I may have ever met.
It's true.
When I met them, I came home and I was so excited. I said, Brooke, oh my God, you have to meet these guys. They are funny. They are charismatic. They're true to themselves. They're wonderful people. So you coming into their life was an addition for them and an addition for you.
Absolutely. I feel really blessed and lucky. I don't have a lot of friends. I can count my friends on one hand, but I'd much prefer to be able to count my true friends on one hand than have thousands of friends that I could never count on. So
I agree with you. I sort of feel that way myself. I have I guess
acquaintances. A lot of acquaintances.
A lot of acquaintances.
But I'll tell you what, since this accident happened, I had no idea. Do you know, Angelo, we were in that accident 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and my daughter put it on Facebook because she was on her way here because I was in the hospital, and she put it on Facebook. By the time I got home, late that night, I had 697 emails. Wow. Not Facebook mail, emails. Wow. So I got to tell you, I have a lot of friends, and we've had...
You are loved. You are loved.
Oh, my God. It's just so wonderful. It's just, I've never, I never asked why, and I'm pretty sure you don't either. Why me? Never ever asked that. Because it's, it's...
you got them.
Yeah, in a way, why not you? If it's going to happen to anybody, why not you? So you don't want to ask those kinds of questions. But I want to get to one more thing, though. You were in Disney World, and you did the cutest little thing I've ever seen, and you did some Disney songs. And I have to tell you, I'm just like the kids. I listen to them over and over.
She is, too.
I'm like, you know what, Linda? That's how you and I are, like, really similar, because I am a kid at heart. I don't know if it's because, like, I entered Menudo, which is, like, the beginning of my career. I signed the contract when I was 10, and I began touring at 11. So as a result of that, I had to put my childhood, pretty much say goodbye to it. Because when you're a child and an adult, in a boy band that is touring the world and having to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be at the 6 o'clock morning show, and then be at night to do, like, the David Letterman, and then get to the hotel at 2 o'clock in the morning to get another wake-up call at 5 o'clock in the morning, those are adult responsibilities.
Oh.
Thrown on a child. So inadvertently, I pretty much lost my childhood at 11. So as a result of that, now that I'm an adult and fully grown, my inner child is alive and very well awake inside of me. So I always sing, like, Disney songs. And you know what? I do it for my little soldiers. I call my followers my soldiers. And it's because the word soldier represents somebody that stands for a cause. So my cause, of course, I'm a soldier of God, but I am also a soldier. I call my soldiers that, and I'm like, you're part of the Angelo army. And my message in life is an anti-bullying message, because I was bullied as a child, and I went through a lot of arduousness growing up, which helped me and enabled me to create a thick skin and to be able to have these invisible blinders to blank the negativity out. And as a result of that, like they say, I know that's a very cliche saying, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And as a result, as an adult now, I'm a very strong adult. And I want to inspire and encourage the youth to see past being a supercilious individual and actually rising above the negativity and the maladaptive thought processes that people have in order to actually bestow kindness and respect upon your brothers and sisters and actually be able to give yourself the quality of life that is worth living. So I am pro anti-bullying. I'm actually planning on creating these public service announcements that I want to actually work in congruency with the Board of Education so that these public service announcements are played on the first day of school during orientation to, unveil the ignorance and to teach kids why it is that it's wrong to bully, what it does to your self-esteem, why it is that it can cause kids to commit suicide, and enable the children and the teens the tools necessary in order to know what to do if they see somebody getting bullied, if they're getting bullied, what to do, what are the appropriate steps to take in order to make it stop.
That's incredible. From all the things you hear on the news and everything today, a step in that direction it's exactly what we need.
Yeah, sorry.
And it's people like you, Angelo, that can actually change that.
Yep.
Well, I was bullied in school, and it was so arduous for me. It started in middle school, and I thought that being like a kid kid that was in this like world famous boy band and that had toured the world and that, you know, accomplished all these amazing things. I would have thought that the kids at school would have accepted that, but instead I became like an outcast because, and this is having a psychology degree, I graduated with a degree in psychology. So this is the way I break it down. When you're an artist and when you're thrown into the spotlight, you are praised for standing out and for being different because that's what makes an entertainer an entertainer. Now take that same entertainer and throw them into the real world. In the real world, people are rubbed the wrong way by things that stand out and don't follow the norm or a specific structure. So as a result of that, as a child that grew up in the spotlight, I was thrown back into a normal environment around normal kids, and I stuck out like a sore thumb. So I became an outcast, and kids used to make fun of me. I used to get beat up. I used to get beat up so much that at one point I got gang beat up by like 5 kids, and my face was like all swollen. I looked like the Elephant Man. And when that happened, I kind of like got turned off by school. So what I used to do is instead of going to school, I would go on the subway in New York, and I would hop on the subway in the morning, and I would fall asleep all day and set my alarm. And when it was time for me to get out of school, I would time it so that I would get home at the same time that school would get out. It got so bad that I ended up skipping over 72 days of school because I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was causing me anxiety and emotional grief. And when my parents found out, they were so angry and I got grounded. But you know what? I learned a lot from that, and it humbled me, and it made me a better human being. And what it did for me, because it could have either taken me in one or two different directions. Children that are bullied either are inspired, or either children that are bullied either become bitter and angry at the world, or they can take that negative energy and flip it and turn it into a positive and make sure that it inspires them to be exactly the opposite. And that's what it did for me. It inspired me to be exactly the opposite of everything that I ever loved. And
Angelo, I'm so sorry, sweetie. We're out of time. And but we're going to continue this.
That sounds like this again.
Yes. We don't want to leave everyone hanging. And anti-bullying is a subject I am all about. I love it. So,
gotta go now, though, Angelo.
Gotta go, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you, everyone, for putting up with us and listening to our show. We love you so much, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
See ya.
Good night, buddy.
Bye.